only play harass, that's why you scared of everything. Cause you dodge and deflect, you never stand tall. Big talk online, then you're going fans cold. Running from the truth like it's chasing you down. You're the king of the vanish, the ghost of the battleground. You dodge and deflect, yeah, we see what you do. Nintendo drops more nonsense and you swear it's brand new. Every anti-consumer move you claim is perfectly fine. Tell me, man, why does that hairline run faster than your spine?
Hello everyone, I'm the Angry Vigilante. This is my side channel where I post reaction videos to salty fanboys pulled straight from my live streams on my main channel, The Angry Vigilante Show. On the main channel, I also cover gaming news, rants, and full game reviews. I'll leave a link down below and you're more than welcome to come and subscribe and also hang out with me live every Monday morning at 5 a.m. Pacific time.
Nintendo Switch 2 game mid-reviews problem, or 70s problem, or this isn't worth $70 because the game reviews on Metacritic isn't high.
It's not because of the game reviews on Metacritic. It's not worth $70 because it's not worth $70. You know damn well. But you try to sit here and take like this gray area approach or the middle approach, trying to be neutral when you know damn well it's not worth actually $70. But you don't care because you get it as tax write-offs. And you need people to buy these games so you can become successful. You know, even though you don't make money off of the games, well, you might get an affiliate link, but the better the games do, the more views your videos are going to get when it comes down to it.
High enough problem. I've seen people talk about this with the release of Mario Tennis Fever, how it's not worth the money based off.
It's not worth the money. It's just simply not. It is an amazing game. I will give it that. It is a phenomenal game, but it's not worth the money.
Of the review scores are based off of the 4-hour adventure mode or based off of this.
It's actually, see, I don't know where everyone's getting a 4-hour adventure mode. I put about 5.5 hours into the adventure mode, so it's more like 5 hours. And actually, surprisingly, the adventure mode is fantastic. It's just too short. Once you get past the tutorial part, which is the first half, the second half is actually phenomenal. They should have fleshed out that second half to make it longer.
Based off of that, and honestly, that type of talk is just getting exhausting. Worth or value is subjective. Something can be.
Who cares if it's getting exhausting? If you don't like it, don't sit here and watch the damn content. Don't read the comments. The reason why is because you take pride in these games getting higher scores. That's the only reason why.
$3, and if I buy it, I feel that it's not worth it, then it's not worth it. Or it can be $10 or $20 or.
Okay, partially true, yes. Price is subjective, but there are generally considered general standards of what a $70 game is supposed to have. But you have completely lowered those standards to where they're non-existent.
$40 or $50, so it doesn't really matter when it comes to that. But what I do want to get into is this trend of what we're seeing with Nintendo review scores, at least Metacritic wise, and it's just constantly being high 70s every single time. It seems like it's going to be predetermined that'll be like a.
My guy, if you enjoy the game, who cares what the score is? What was the point of making this video in the first place?
77 or a 78 or maybe a 79 or something, and go over that. Now, there's been people also debating and analyzing this, saying that Nintendo's value, or more like Nintendo's game quality, is a problem, that it's went down.
It is. It has gone down. They raised the price but didn't raise the value. When you raise the price, you have to raise the amount of content in there. You can't just make like the quality level of Switch 1 games and expect them to do well for $70.
On hill, and there's all these issues. And while I can understand people have their opinions, we can discuss that.
I mean, that's pretty much a fact. You can try to act like it's an opinion. It's pretty much a fact. That's why they're rating the way they are.
Fully, when it comes to people's opinions or not based off of that. As somebody who's pretty much played every single game, first party wise at least, that Nintendo has released, I think that there's definitely more to it because of the type.
Of course you would, because your channel is built on something like that. Your channel, you have to sit here and defend Nintendo that way. Okay, you don't like it because you want the games to either do well at the Game Awards or whatever. Literally, these Metacritic scores don't mean anything. Do you know how many times I played a game that did not review well and I absolutely loved it? And then I played a game that reviewed very well and I did not like it. There have been many games like that. Who cares?
Of games that they released, what they tried to do with those type of games. So we're going to discuss it at depth and at length, and we're going to talk about the future and what games could break this 70s trend and break into the.
It's called Nintendo needs to make better games. That's how it's going to break this 70s trend.
80s and potentially even the 90s, because believe it or not, it might be coming more sooner than later with the game.
Oh, are you talking about with the fake leak crap when it comes to the damn directs?
Game that probably all of us wrote off, at least not all of us, but maybe a lot of us wrote off, and that was Pokemon Pocopia. So we'll do
The visuals alone don't even put this game into the 90s. The visuals are trash. There's no voice acting in the damn game. Are you kidding me? There's no way this game can be in the 90s. Maybe the 80s, if that, but 90s, there's just no way. If people are giving this 9s out of 10s as a fake review, they're literally not taking into account the visuals, and they're not taking into account there's no voice acting. $70 is supposed to have good visuals and good voice acting.
discuss that and more, but before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button,
No one cares.
subscribe if you are someone
Don't do
new,
it.
and
Don't
click
do
that
it.
notification bell to get
Don't
my
do it.
videos as soon as they drop.
Don't
And
do
let
it.
me know
Don't
if you
torture
think
yourself.
that there is a reviews or quality issue with Nintendo Switch 2
It's the quality issue. I notice you want to put it onto the reviewers, but you don't want to blast them at the same time.
first-party games. Now, let's just start out at the beginning. Obviously, we had Mario Kart World, which is reviewed pretty well, 86.
Yeah, too damn high. That 86 is way too damn high for that game.
You have Donkey Kong Bonanza, really good, AAA.
Still too damn high. With the performance issues, did not have enough quality content for the $70. No, that's too high.
Type review score and all that, 91. That was awesome. People loved it. People were saying the Switch 2 is worth it. Look at this game. They're going to have so many more games coming out, and the consistent releases were starting to really pick up steam. You got some good third-party stuff that happened in September with Trails in the Sky and with Hades 2.
Those are not Nintendo games, so it doesn't matter what those review scores were.
In addition to Silk Song, those all reviewed really well. So you had a bunch
What did those third-party games have to do with Nintendo, my guy? It doesn't matter if they were on the Nintendo platform.
of nice games, first party and third party, throughout September. But then we get to October, and in October there was some issues when it comes to it, and even a little bit before that. Obviously, Welcome Tour, that should have just been packaged in.
Yeah, it should have. And 54 might have been too high for that damn game too. But yes, that game should have been packed in. That's why it was rated the way it was.
To 54, Dragon Drive, that also should have just been maybe like an NSO game or something.
Yeah, that definitely should have been one. But yeah, the controls were trash on it.
But whatever, that's a 60 on that one. But we start getting to the big major games, and we get the Pokemon Legends ZA, 78, not bad. I think that the game is
That is still too damn high. 78 is too high, but that's still a 78. But let me guess, you're like, oh, it should have been higher.
fun, but it's right around there. And people say,
Oh,
okay,
nope, he
well, the
didn't.
graphics, this and that. So
Graphics, no voice acting. There were multiple things wrong with that damn game.
it is what it is on that one. And then we get something like Kirby Air Riders. And this one's interesting, and why I don't fully buy into the Nintendo game quality problem. Kirby
The road trip mode, the single player mode was trash. Okay, this game had a lot of like quantity thrown into it, but not as much quality.
Air Riders is a 79, and some people are saying that's maybe not good enough. It was an 80 at one point, then it went a little bit down. But the GameCube release is a 61 on Metacritic.
Oh well, guess what? The GameCube was how long ago? If that same game would have released, it probably would go lower than a 61.
So you have a huge 18-point jump over the previous game in the franchise. That's why
Well, I would hope from a game going from the GameCube to the damn Switch 2, they would make it way better. That's just a given. That's a bare minimum.
said it's a little bit complicated when you're talking about if there's a quality issue or not. I think that with certain games, like Kirby Air Riders, for example, there is absolutely zero quality issue. This game is significantly better than what we got before in the same
Of course, and that's why I got a way better score. I thought, I think I gave it like a 7. In the 70s is a fair score.
franchise, and it's complete. It's fully packed in with content, single player mode. You've got
Awesome. The single player mode is trash. Very big. That road trip tour mode was trash.
multiplayer modes, you got local, you got online, you got achievements, you've got no microtransactions, you got no pricey DLC expansions, you've got beautiful graphics, it runs good.
I agree. It ran well. The game was beautiful. Visuals were amazing. But the problem is that when you looked at the modes and you compared to other games, there were just far better options to pick.
Everything's fine with this game. It's actually really good. If you get into it, it's a lot of fun, especially with friends. And the online is flawless. It's got great rollback netcode. So this game is really good. Now, is it good enough to get some type of score like Donkey Kong Bonanza? Probably not with the game.
It's not probably. It's definitely not better. The single player was just too trash. Is it fun? Sure. It is fun. But if you sit here and hold this game up and hold Mario Kart World, Racing Crossworlds, Mario Party Jamboree, I guarantee you more people are going to pick those games over Kirby Air Riders.
Gaming press, because the gaming press is the gaming press, but I don't think that it signifies that Sakurai has like making a video game quality issue.
Oh, I do. This game was not up to high quality. This game was not a $70 quality game. The single player mode is trash.
There's no way. So that's why I don't fully subscribe to it. Now,
and I will blast Sakurai for that one. I enjoy Sakurai. I enjoy Super Smash Brothers, but my guy, you made a trash single player mode.
I get it with some of the stuff, but I don't subscribe to it when we have stuff like Kirby Air Riders, which is a phenomenal game. I just don't.
It's an okay game. It's in the 70s. You know, that's considered great. It is a great game, yes, but it's not phenomenal. No, it's not 80 or 90.
I don't have the time to play the multiplayer as much as I would like, but every time that I play it with the community, or every time that I got a chance to play it single player, it was frantic.
Probably not that many times. Wouldn't surprise me if your community wanted to play other games besides this one. It was probably picked at a pity.
And it was a blast. Definitely more than a 79. I think it's an 80 plus game in my opinion. Haven't really had a
No one asked for your opinion. No one really cares. It is priced perfectly fine in the 70s. Does not deserve to be in the 80s.
Chance to play everything, so I can't get a full review, but from everything that
Did you play the single player mode? How can you sit here and say it's in the 80s when that single player mode was trash? The only mode that I thought was phenomenal was this mode, the top down ride mode. That was a phenomenal mode. I love that mode.
I've played, the number of hours that I've put in, this is a super high quality game in my opinion, and put well together. You might not like everything about it, but it's definitely a well put together game, and much better than,
except for the single player mode. Outside of that, yes, it is a well put together game, just not the single mode.
The original game on the GameCube with all of the added content. This is what you'd want a sequel to do. This is what you'd want them to add in after all of these years.
You want them to add a proper story mode. That story mode again is trash. I'm wondering if you actually played it. There's no way you could have gone into that, played that story mode and said, oh yeah, this is amazing.
And everything, because they boosted this game up to the max. I can understand with a game like Metroid Prime 4, right? Metroid Prime 4, this game, the reviews back in the day, they were a lot better than this. This is one of the lower rated games. This is actually lower rated.
Well, it made a lot of people mad. Now, I think a 78 is a little too low. I thought it should have been like an 85. That's what I gave it. I gave it like an 8.5. I actually enjoyed Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I actually did. But it's the first one I've ever played. I've never played in the other Metroid Prime games.
At the 78, the Metroid Other M, and this game's better than Metroid Other M. I think it's a lot better. I gave my own review for the game, and you can go see.
Yes, but you're comparing a game from how long ago? Metroid Other M was back on the Wii. If that game would have dropped today, it wouldn't have gotten that 79. It would have gotten a way lower score. Standards change over time.
What I scored it and everything, but I think this game's a lot better than that game. So reviews, standards, and things have definitely changed. Because
yes, of course standards have changed. When you look back on Ocarina of Time, if someone was to make an almost identical game to Ocarina of Time, same visuals, same everything, release it today, there is no way it would have scored a 99. It would have been impossible to score a 99 because the visuals alone, if they would have released it at $70, if they would have released that game at full price, no fucking way would it have been. So of course standards change because over time, generally the industry gets better. They make either a better game of that genre and they progress the series forward. That's usually how it goes.
Once again, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is much better than Metroid Other M, yet Metroid
probably is. But how long ago was Metroid Other M made? You're making a false comparison.
Other M sits at a better review score than it. Now, once again, that was like a decade and a half ago when they reviewed it, so times have changed, things have changed, different people. It's a completely different scene now, and at this point, and expectations of what you were expecting with a Metroid Prime might have been let down, so maybe that caused more of it, or just some of the gameplay design, obviously the green crystal stuff and all that. So
yeah, the green crystal was bullshit. That was way too damn much. Like I said, the game I thought deserved like an 8, 8.5. That's what I gave it.
I get that. That definitely seemed like there was some issues. The game was in development for a long time, so whether there's an excuse for it or not, it is what exactly happened. It's still a 78, so I get.
Then why are you complaining about it? Why are you making this video complaining about these mid-scoring games in the 70s?
That, but of course with Kirby Air Riders, do not get that at all. Then probably like the biggest.
Oh, I do. It is very well known why that game got that one.
Thing for me with this is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. This game makes no sense. And once again, why don't
I actually agree with them. This game should have been rated higher, but I knew that a niche, genre spinoff game was not going to do as good.
I don't believe or buy in fully to this game quality issue. This game is significantly higher quality than the game that came before it. You have Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity in
I agree. We can all agree with that one. And I think this game should have been the 80s as well. It was my favorite Nintendo game of last year.
2020. I love this game, but the frame rate was so bad. Like, I can understand the scores that it got. When it was getting 7s and sometimes 8s and 6s and other scores, I was like, yeah, you know what? That makes sense. This frame rate is bad. It is definitely an issue, but the game can be very fun when the frame rate isn't so choppy and bad, because it runs at 30 FPS with dips. And if you're playing in multiplayer, it's almost unplayable because it might get into the single digit teens frame rate or low teens.
Oh man, that frame rate is terrible.
Frame rate. And there's times if it's raining or there's a lot of enemies, it can get real choppy into the low 20s, potentially mid 20s. It's not great. When you have those huge levels with things happening, it also chugs and slows down, and that affects the enjoyment. But the game with
I agree. I can completely agree why that one got the review scores that it did. Like I said, Age of Imprisonment should have gotten a little better.
with its story, with its different characters, with its cool gameplay mechanics, still was able to shine through and get a 78 on the Metacritic. Then you fast forward to 5 years later to Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, which dramatically improves upon the major issue
Except for the visuals. I think the visuals of Age of Calamity are far better.
with the game, which is the frame rate. That is the reason why the game got much lower scores than maybe what it should have had, was the frame rate. This game has an incredible story, just as good,
Very
if
true.
not better, than Age of Calamity. And it's actually canon. It's not like a separate side story that's
Okay, whether it's canon or not means absolutely nothing. That's a nothing burger there.
kind of canon based on a thing that happened.
And no, it did actually have some like performance issues. So saying that it was all fixed, that's not even true. If you played that in dock mode, there were times where the visuals got blurry. That's why I knocked it down, was because of that too. So no, like there are reasons why it got below that. I still think it should have been the 80s, but saying that it was fixed completely, that's just not true. If you played it in dock mode, you will know what I'm talking about.
But maybe not the exact really thing that happened. It's actually a canon story, and it's got a bunch of fun characters to use as well. It's
Very
a
true.
great game, and it improves
I
upon
agree.
everything that the original Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity does, and it does it even bigger and better.
But there's a thing that you're trying to compare this one to Age of Calamity. Age of Calamity was $60, not $70. That is one thing you keep glossing over, is the price. I understand that you guys in the Nintendo community have like this motto to live by, that when it comes to the price, you want to set it aside, and when you look, you see a lot of good things happening. We all understand that's your guys' motto.
All in a target 60 FPS, hitting that 60 FPS a lot of the time, or most of the time. It feels smooth to play. It's got a ton of content. It's got a lot of stuff wrapped in there. It is a really good game, and it's got a bunch of new mechanics and different things that you can do, fusion combos and stuff that make
Very true. Like I said, phenomenal game. But when are you going to bring up the price here? That is like probably the biggest problem. $70 was just too much.
the gameplay far more varied to me if you're into the Warriors games. And I play them on hard, so you have to actually use all the different tools
No one cares if you play it on hard. Literally was no point bringing that up.
and everything. If you play the game on normal or easy, it just feels like you're just mashing buttons the whole time. But if you're playing the game on hard, you actually have to do so many other things and dodge and be skillful and do all sorts of stuff. So
Awesome. That does not equate to the score. Nobody cares.
it's so much better for me, at least. So I saw all the differences between Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity and Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. And the biggest thing, which is the most important thing, which every single reviewer mentioned was a big issue with the game, the frame rate.
Very true. But when are you going to bring up the price point? Do you understand that a $60 to $70 is a massive difference?
Hyrule Warriors fixes all that, and it's got 1 point better. 1 point better. That's insane. That is
Not really. I mean, yes, it should have gotten into the 80s, but again, this is a $70 game. You're comparing it to a score of a $60 game.
absolutely ridiculous. And that's why, once again, I don't really be all end all with reviews anyway. You guys know that.
then what is the point of making this video? If you don't care about the reviews and the Metacritic scores, why are you making this video?
Play the games for myself, where I watch different people play them and I see what I see and I judge it from that. I don't judge it all based on reviews, because whatever. But that's what I'm really kind of talking about. When you do everything significantly better and then people say, oh,
They didn't though. They overpriced it. Again, you're forgetting the price point.
oh, there's a quality issue. No, there is not. Look at that.
Yes, when you compare it to the price point, there is a quality issue.
That guys, 7879, despite having significantly better resolution, performance, gameplay aspects, and so many different things with the game, it only got them 1 point better. That should have been off the top 3 to 4 points better than Hyrule Warriors
Yes, if it would have been at a 60, maybe.
Age of Calamity, simply based off of the frame rate alone. That should have already got it like 3 or 4 points better, because that was a major issue in the previous game. And Age of Calamity is awesome, but it's not to the point to where it's just as good despite the frame rate. No, Age of Imprisonment is a lot better because it plays way better. And
It does play better, but guess what? It's a $70 game, not a $60 game again.
smoother, to where you
Can you please bring up the price just once?
pull off your combos and pull off what you can do and everything. So I don't fully subscribe to it. I understand what people
Of course you don't, because you always want to remove the price. That's the problem.
are saying. I get the logistics of what they're saying with, hey, there's some 70s and there's some issues here and there. There's been some games that haven't been so good, but I think that some of the games are much better when you play them yourself than what some of the Metacritic scores will say. It was really interesting to see, because from IGN to Switch Up to Skill Up to Eurogamer to Game Informer, they all had incredibly high praise for this game in their hands.
Yeah, and I sat here and did a video on this one, and I honestly didn't think I had to. But you can look at the visuals are trash. You can tell there is no voice acting in the damn game, and it's a $70 game. They never even mention anything like that. So why should we be taking any of them seriously?
On gameplay previews, could Pokemon Pocopia change this 70s curse that the Nintendo Switch 2 with first-party games, first-party published titles is having right now? I think it's possible. Then Switch Up. Here's our take on a massive play session with Pokemon Pocopia on the Nintendo Switch 2. Not the game we were expecting, but a pleasant surprise. And they also stated that the game reminds them of Viva Pinata, which was a cult hit from...
I never played Viva Pinata, but it's sad that that game actually looks better than what the Pocopia game looks like.
the Xbox 360, and I think there was even a Nintendo
How does a 360 game look almost on par to what a damn Switch 2 game is supposed to be?
DS game as well. So this could break the curse, and I hope that it does. It's coming out next month, early next
And unfortunately, I gotta play it because apparently people aren't gonna get a fair and honest review if I don't. But I will be renting it. There's no way I'm paying money for this.
month. So I think that it has a chance to break the 80s curse. So we'll see what happens there with this game. I'm now more interested in it because I like Viva Pinata. I thought that game was pretty cool, and I watched the previews, and
And we all know you're gonna glaze the fuck out of this. There's no way that this game can get into the 80s and the 90s just alone. For the 3 reasons. 1, the visuals are trash. 2, there's no voice acting and it's on a game key card. A first party title on a game key card.
definitely a little bit more, I would say, positive about this game. So we'll see when it comes out. Now, are there other games that can break the 70s curse that will release this year on the Nintendo Switch 2 from Nintendo published first party title, or at least publishing?
I do not think this new Yoshi game is going to do that. If it is anything like Crafted World or at the level of Woolly World, there's no way it's going to break that. I do not have high hopes for this game. I am going to play because I love Yoshi, but if we just go by how they've been treating Yoshi, I do not have high hopes. Wonder Red, what is a key card? A game key card is when all they have is a plastic shell. It triggers a download, so you have to download the game from the internet. You don't actually have the game on the cartridge.
Partner title. Yes, I think so. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, that has a chance. The Yoshi Crafted World,
I really do not think it has a chance. I'm sorry. I don't have hope in Nintendo right now for Yoshi.
and Woolly World, they're both at the dreaded 78, 79 curse
And 79 for Yoshi. Yoshi's Crafted World is way too goddamn high.
as well. But I think this one could be a bit better on the Nintendo Switch 2. You have the Dust Bloods from Software. They have highly rated games, but
It could. I'm not going to play this game. I have severe skill issues when it comes to these games.
Their online focused stuff like Elden Ring Night Rain didn't quite do as well. That's also in the high 70s rated thing. So I'm not sure if it's going to be able to get the type of scores that Bloodborne or Elden Ring got, or
Man, that game does not look that good.
Sekiro, but I do think that it can be somewhere in between Elden Ring Night Rain and, like, let's just say Dark Souls 3 or something like that. So that can be an 80s plus type of game. You also look at Splatoon Raiders. All of the Splatoon games,
We don't even know if that game's coming out this year. So that's some hopium right there.
outside of the expansion pack for, or more like the DLC for Splatoon 3, all of those have a low 80s rating. So Splatoon Raiders as a spin-off,
But again, those games were all $60. They're not going to come in at 70.
could definitely be that. But I think that the game that has the best chance to break past that and get near some of the other games like Mario Kart World or Donkey Kong Bonanza is Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. You look at the
I mean, I don't think it's going to get in the 90s. Has the Fire Emblem game ever gotten that high? I thought they were like 80 games.
past big mainline Fire Emblem games, not including Fire Emblem Engage, because that's more of an anniversary game. But if you look at Fire Emblem Awakening, Fire Emblem Fates, and
Oh, okay. Fire Emblem Awakening did get a 92. Gotcha. Fire Emblem Three Houses got an 89. I mean, I know that Fire Emblem Three Houses and Fire Emblem Awakening are very beloved games. It could get in the 80s.
Emblem Three Houses, all of those games have high 80s to low 90s, with Fire Emblem Awakening having 90 plus, and Fire Emblem Three Houses right there at the cusp of a 90 with an 89 and a Player's Choice Award to go with it, and Best Strategy RPG or Strategy Game Awards and things. So that did really well. So I do think that Fire Emblem has been one of those high quality franchises that's reviewed well over.
It could be. I don't think it's going in the 90s. I think it's going to be in the 80s, but we'll have to see, because I am actually very looking forward to this game. I can't wait.
The years, and I think that could be the game that truly kind of breaks past from what we know. There's going to be other stuff. We got Gen 10 Pokemon. We probably got a new 3D Mario. We probably got
Well, I doubt the Gen 10 Pokemon's going to rate that well. When's the last time one has rated good?
one more game here or there that we don't know about from Nintendo. Maybe a couple more games that we don't know about. But I do think that out of the ones that we do, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave has the biggest opportunity. And I think that if you look at Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, it's got a significant bump in visual fidelity.
Oh, it looks amazing. I cannot wait for this game.
And in performance. Those are the two things that were an issue when it comes to Fire Emblem Three Houses, and that game still reviewed pretty highly. So if they have a story that's just as good, if not even better, and less annoying aspects, maybe the calendar system is rehauled or not even in there at all.
Okay, come on, get on with it already. You already made this video long enough as it is.
Plus they have all of the typical awesome
Hey there, Stephanie Browse. I'm doing good. Reacting to good old player essence.
Fire Emblem leveling and strategic gameplay, along with great classes and level ups and everything like that. I think that Fire...
Okay, we get it. You are glazing Fire Emblem. I'm glazing it too. I'm excited. Pretty much this video was pointless to make. There was no need. He literally just made to complain.
You can cry in the comments, but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're hard